And we're live. Hi, everybody. Hi, Anna. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
So we're going to talk about entities, and you've taken some talk to the entities classes, and it's something that is changing and sweeping the Middle East, and it's kind of a totally different thing. And I just wanted to talk a little bit today about how talking with entities has changed your life. I know you do a lot of office hours. I'll be hanging out with Anna, and she's like, I did my office hours this morning, and I created this and this and this, and it's always so inspiring. So I'd love to hear a little bit more about that. And yeah.
Honestly, I start from the beginning. So it's like here in the Middle East, it's like the subject of entity is just like forbidden, or it's like a taboo. It's like even if you acknowledge, you don't say to people that you acknowledge something because they're gonna think that you're a witch. If you're a witch, you're a bad person. So
Got
it's like I acknowledge entity since I was young. I used to like perceive movement, doors opens up, lights goes up and like turn on and turn off. And my mom, she used to tell me that I'm just imagining things, nothing happened. So it's like I was with that till it's like I found access, and it's like I went to first foundation and learn about entities, and then talking with entities. And it's like I had the pleasure to have like one of my talking with entities with you. So, and I learned about office hours, and it's like the entity started to be from the scary things that it's forbidden and I don't want to go there, to something very contributing to my life.
Yes, yes. For me, it's been very much a contribution. And I always tell the story of my husband, and I just did a live with him the other day about entities. But I can't say it enough because he is somebody who was very depressed and very much having money problems his whole life. And when he started working with entities, he realized that that sadness was never his. He was always aware of the energies around him. And so I saw his mental health go from -5 to 1,000 by acknowledging all the spirits and the energies that were around him. And it was just so empowering and beautiful to watch.
It is. It is. So it's like when I started to talk with entities, first of all, my relationship got better.
Hmm.
And I started to be present with people because lots of them, they're talking to me and I didn't know that they were talking to me. So I started to have my office hours. So like we have hours. And what is nice about
Can you
learning,
actually explain, like office hours, for those of you who don't know, is when you actually like set a time to communicate with entities or clear entities, or just see what they have to give to you. Often, so many entities just want to gift to you and like see your life get better. And like we have all these energies, but if we don't like listen, they can't communicate with us. They can't gift to us. I mean, I've heard stories of people getting diamond rings from entities. One lady had this random shipment of tea, like boxes and boxes of green tea that came from nowhere. And she asked, "Is this entities?" And she got a yes. So it's like all kinds of amazing things can show up, money, treasures. So anyways, I just wanted to like say what office hours is because I know that you do it a lot and get results from that.
yes. So like I started to be present in my relationships and with people around me because like the chat thing, like there's whatever they're chatting, the whole time it started to be organized. And I always ask whomever comes to me in the office hours to bring client to me or bring money in any way. And clients, they find me. I don't know from where. And when then I ask, is that from that entity? And it's like sometimes I get a yes. So it just fits me in like, okay, what else is possible?
Yes.
And yes, and I love what Simone she put with like the videos is like they had in YouTube. It's like what is like the entities before you learn how to talk to them is just something scary. It's black, and whenever you acknowledge them, they became like Casper. Very cute.
That's very cute. Yeah, and like for me, one of my favorite things has been it's been fun and wonderful, is communicating with my passed on grandparents and great grandparents, and my aunt who has died, and my uncle who has died, who was very, very, very close with. And losing my uncle was really hard for my whole family because he was like a father to me. He was at most of our meals, like he was always over for dinner. Him and my dad were best friends. And so losing him was really hard for our family. And it was also, my dad was a farmer, so that was my dad's best friend, really one of his only friends, because my dad is just totally a humanoid introvert. And it's like losing him was so hard. And so when I came to talk to the entities and I started using these tools, communicating with him has become so beautiful, and he is such a gift to me. And he was looking to talk to me for so long, but it was only when I was listening and I was empowered to be my own psychic. I mean, that's what I love about Talk to the Entities, is it empowers you to be your own psychic. And we think that some people have psychic abilities and others don't, but that's not true. We all have psychic abilities. So with Talk to the Entities, it's basically psychic school. And you learn to talk to these amazing beings. And it's not just people who have passed away, which has been wonderful for me to learn to communicate to my family members, but it's also these amazing beings of nature. I mean, there's something that we talk about in Talk to the Entities called the spirits of the earth. And I love working with the spirits of the earth because they're just, it's beyond your mind, beyond comprehension, and these beautiful, miraculous interactions that are like almost what like the Buddhists would call enlightenment, or what we call in Access consciousness. And they're so beautiful. And so I love to have those energies in my life because they're magic. It's like pure magic. And I just love that. And Burke is asking, let's see what Burke is asking. When you say talk with entities, what does that look like? So, well, when you talk with entities, it's like you learn to drop your barriers, connect with a different reality where the entities are, and then have different kinds of interactions and conversations with them. And it's pretty magical stuff.
It is magical.
Yeah.
It's like that you are the magic.
Yes, exactly. And so what's one story of working with an entity that has helped empower you and make your life better? Because that's what this is all about, is actually, it's not so we're like cool psychics. Talk to the entities actually is like, you don't want to do that. That's not empowering. But it's like using these tools to make your life better. And so how have you made your life better with talking to entities?
Like sometimes, all of the time, we want to be aware of 360 degrees. And when, in my opinion, or it's like, I don't know what is it, it's like when we block the energy of entities, or it's like that side, there was something there that we can't very reach. It's like we want the ease, we want the joy, we want the glory, and entities, they are part of it, part of this. So it's like you're looking for everything, or it's like you're aware of everything. Talking with entities expanded this place that I didn't know that it was existed. And I was reading and doing everything, but it was a part of just adding ease to my life in that area and everywhere. So it's like what you were saying, a funny story. I'm going to say the recent one that I remember, because it's like now it's a lot. I started to forget.
You've had so many. Yeah.
It's like my cousin, he died. It's like last month. And what's funny is like the day before, it's like something was talking to me, but I wasn't very willing to answer that. And the second day when I knew, it's like I had like a download from the stuff he was, like the entity was telling me. When I went to his Facebook, I found it's like whatever he was, I got it as the download. And I was talking to you, Julie. It's like everything was in his mind. I read it. It's like he put it before he died. So like I thought it's like I was miserable that day, or it's like, or I was depressed. It was just an entity, and my cousin wanted to talk to me in another form, and I thought I am the problem. Yes.
So like literally, you were aware of these energies. You didn't even know your cousin had died. You found out he died. He passed away. Went to his Facebook, and he'd written down everything that you were just feeling, and then you became aware of that. And that's the beauty, is like nobody's really listening to entities, you know? Even psychics, the general psychics, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's super cool, but it's like, you know, we actually all need to be empowered to be our own psychics and to have total awareness. And so it's like you were willing to have total awareness. And did your cousin know that you were hearing him?
Yes, because he was talking to me the day before, but it's like I wasn't willing to hear the stuff because it's like it was far away from my mind. And or at the second day when I know, it's like I was okay, I'm here. This is you, yes. And it's like then it's like I perceived that he was relieved. And it's like it just came to the consciousness. It just like expanded and somehow, and he started to go away. And it's like the magical, and it's like the awareness that I got from moment, I can't put words on it. It's just expansion in his universe and his entity world.
Right.
And it's great. And for like we want to know more and we want to experience more. This is a really nice tool for contribution for everyone because it just adds to life.
Yes, it does. And it's like your willingness to be aware of him as an entity created a place where he could have more ease and go to the light or whatever you want to call it. So that's pretty amazing that we have that power and that we can be such a gift to all these beings.
Yes. And it's like my father passed away. He always comes and chats. And I have a funny story. My mom, she always dreamed about my father after he died. So it's like when I used to have my office hours, he used to come. Sometimes I talked to him. Sometimes I thought that I'm just making up the story. And one day it's like he was talking to me. It's like he wanted to leave. And I told him he can leave. And it's like 2 weeks later, my mom came. It's like, he never come to my dream. He stopped coming to my dream. I know who did that.
That is so cool. Like, and what a gift. And I mean, we talk about these things and we talk about death in such a different way and talk to the entities because the veil of the living and the dead, it kind of goes away because we have this ability to communicate. So it's not as devastating as when you don't have these tools, you know? Grief gets a lot easier.
Yes, and it makes life easier because nothing we're scared of. Like all of us, we know that there's entities, but we're just avoiding that side. And whenever something goes, it's like we just freak out.
Yeah.
It makes you chill.
It does.
The space has lots of things.
It does. And I used to be I used to be afraid as a kid. And then my mom actually, she like knew the tools of talk to the entities without knowing the tools, some of them. And she just empowered me. And she just said, Julie, it's okay. You don't have to be afraid. And I would see this old man behind my piano and I'd be afraid to go to the bathroom at night. And my mom took me to a lady who helped me talk to the man behind the piano and like get information from him. And then when I worked with this lady, she helped me realize that he was a sweet, kind, caring man who used to live in our house and just wanted to be there for me and talk to me. And so I was fine going to the bathroom in the middle of the night as a little kid because I was just like, hello, in the night because that's who it was. And because my mom empowered me and she didn't know how to do it, but she helped me find somebody who did. And then it was like I never had fear of entities ever again after that because it was just I got to know that this man behind the piano was a wonderful man.
Wow, I love this story.
Yeah.
Yes.
So Umesh says, wow, so cool. Yeah. And that's what Talk to the Entities is. And I'm lucky enough to have been raised in an entity healthy environment. You know, my mom would be like reading ghost stories, ghost stories. She loved ghost stories. And she wanted to empower her daughters to have this awareness and not to have fear. And so you know, I got it from a young age. And then when I came to the Talk to the Entities, it was quite natural for me. But it's like most of us still have fear as adults because we were never empowered in that way. And that's what Talk to the Entities is. It's giving up the fear, it's giving up the stigma. They're not scary, they're not different than you. They're just the same as people. They're just people who don't have their bodies anymore. They've just moved on. And that's the only difference. So, kind of cool.
Yeah. And I love this, like when most of the people, they think that they have mental illnesses. It's just like they have like potency in that area. And
Totally.
how it's released them.
Totally. So many people who are on prescription medication, who are full-blown drug addicts, people who recreationally smoke marijuana, people who are alcoholics. So much of the reason they do that is because they're aware of entities.
Yes. And like I had a client that she used to use drugs a lot. When I cleared the entity, she told me she stopped it.
Yes.
She didn't do to the whole recovery.
Yes.
And the cycle of it. We had visitors, sorry.
Oh, we have some food or something coming in. Awesome. Well, I have to get going here anyways, but I'm so grateful, and thank you for this conversation and the stories. And I hope that this empowers those of you out there listening to become less in the fear, more empowered, have a different point of view about death, and really be as weird as you are and be that person who talks to ghosts. And you know, there's no evil, there's no weird energies. It's only what we have been taught, and none of that is true. It's actually a very powerful, beautiful, empowering world. So thank you for being here, Anna.
I have a question for you.
Yes.
So are you talking with entities facilitator?
Oh yes.
So you teach me.
I do have classes coming up. Thank you. Yeah, I actually have. I've never done this before. I'm doing my very first Talk to the Entities intro class in 6 days. And most of the classes are more expensive. This one's only $75. And so anyone can come. You don't need to have any other prerequisites. Anyone can come, can take this class, and can learn about entities. So if you guys want to, here, I'll just put this up. This is where you can go to register for that, juliasotas.com. It'll be up on there. So thank you for asking. Yes. And then I have also a more advanced, it's called Talk to the Entities beginning class that starts next week also. So thank you for asking. And yeah, it's a different world. It's an empowering world. And I hope that this has inspired you guys. And how does it get better than this?
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for everyone who came here.